Everything is connected. Nothing is random.
Something travels through a city in silence. It has no voice, no name, no loyalty. It passes from hand to hand, neighborhood to neighborhood, year to year. Each time it moves, someone dies. Birmingham, England, 2003 to 2006. 4 separate crimes, 4 different gangs, 4 unrelated investigations. No witnesses connected them, no suspects overlapped, no detectives suspected a pattern. But there was one. A single object, cold, metallic, untraceable, linked every scene. It was present when 2 teenage girls bled out on New Year's pavement. It was there when a man was shot in the back outside a nightclub. It returned when someone begged for mercy under a railway bridge. And it appeared again during an armed robbery that left the shopkeeper crippled. The victims never met, the killers never spoke, but the weapon never rested. This is the story of gun number 6 and the invisible thread of violence it wove through one city, unnoticed, unstoppable, and undeniable. January 2nd, 2003, Aston, Birmingham. 2 girls walk along a street lined with parked cars and dim streetlights. Charlene Ellis, 18 years old. Letitia Shakespeare, 17. They are not involved in anything. They are not looking for trouble. They are simply walking. At the same moment, 3 men arrive in a vehicle. Marcus Reefer and 2 accomplices. They are not there for the girls. They are there for someone else. A rival, a target, a name in a feud that has been simmering for months. The confrontation begins in seconds. Voices, movement, a flash of recognition, then gunfire. The shots are not careful. They are not aimed. They tear through the air in rapid succession, scattering across the street. Charlene and Letitia collapse where they stand. Blood pools beneath them on cold pavement. Both are dead before emergency services arrive. The intended target escapes unharmed. The shooters flee into the night. What remains is a scene that shocks the entire nation. 2 innocent young women killed in crossfire, victims of a war they had nothing to do with. The investigation moves quickly. Witnesses are reluctant. Gang affiliations complicate cooperation, but physical evidence does not lie. Ballistic analysts recover shell casings from the scene. They are logged, photographed, filed. The murder weapon is not recovered. Marcus Reefer and his accomplices are eventually arrested, charged, and convicted. The case is closed. But the weapon, whatever it was, remains out there. Somewhere in Birmingham, waiting. March 2003, Birmingham, city center. A nightclub, late evening. The kind of place where tensions simmer beneath bass-heavy music and crowded floors. Ishfaq Hussain, known to friends as Ixi, is 25 years old. He approaches the entrance. He does not make it inside. 2 men on a motorcycle appear from the street. No warning, no words. 3 shots. All 3 strike Ixi in the back. He falls forward onto the pavement. The motorcycle accelerates and disappears into traffic. Witnesses scatter. Some call for help. Others vanish before police arrive. Ixi dies at the scene. The motive is unclear at first, but investigators soon identify the likely cause: gang rivalry. Birmingham's underworld is divided. The Burger Bar Boys, the Johnson crew, territorial disputes, personal grudges. Ixi's death is filed as another casualty in an ongoing war. Forensic teams recover shell casings near the nightclub entrance. They are logged, cataloged, stored. The shooters are not identified. The motorcycle is never found. The murder weapon is not recovered. The case remains open, but with no immediate leads. It begins to cool. What no one realizes, what no database flags, what no analyst cross-references is that the casings from this scene match the casings from Aston. The same firing pin, the same extractor marks, the same barrel striations. But the cases are handled by different teams, different boroughs, different timelines. The connection is not made, and the weapon continues to move. September 10th, 2005. Digbeth, Birmingham, England. A railway viaduct. Concrete pillars. Shadows beneath the arches. Andrew Granger, 39 years old, is running. Behind him, Kemar Lewis, 20 years old, armed and determined. The pursuit began inside a nightclub. An argument, a perceived slight, something trivial that escalated beyond reason. Now it ends here, under the bridge, in the dark. Granger stumbles, falls to his knees. He turns. He begs. Witnesses later described the moment with disturbing clarity. A man on his knees, pleading for his life. Kemar Lewis raises the pistol. 2 shots to the head. Granger collapses. Lewis walks away. He is arrested within hours. The evidence is overwhelming. He is convicted of murder. But once again, the weapon is not recovered. Forensic analysts collect the shell casings. They are logged, entered into the system. The murder is solved. The killer is imprisoned. The case is closed. But something lingers in the evidence locker. Something that has been present before, in other scenes, under other circumstances. No one notices yet. Andrew Granger's execution is brutal and public. Kemar Lewis's conviction brings a sense of justice. But the object that made the killing possible, the instrument of death, remains free, circulating, changing hands, waiting for its next use. February 2006, Birmingham. A betting shop, mid-afternoon. The kind of place where small amounts of cash change hands, where regulars know the staff by name. Ken, the shop owner, is behind the counter when the door opens. 3 men enter. Morrissey McLean, David Anselm McLean, and a third accomplice. They are armed. Anselm carries a brass knuckle. Morrissey carries a pistol. The robbery unfolds quickly. Demands shouted, cash grabbed, control asserted through fear. But something goes wrong. Ken resists, or hesitates, or simply becomes a problem. Morrissey fires. The bullet strikes Ken in the leg. He collapses, bleeding, in agony, but alive. The 3 men flee with minimal cash and maximum exposure. They are arrested within days. The evidence is clear. The conviction is swift. Aggravated robbery, attempted murder. All 3 are sentenced. Once again, forensic teams recover shell casings from the scene. Once again, they are logged and stored. Once again, the weapon itself is not recovered. But this time, finally, someone notices. A ballistics analyst reviewing cases runs a routine comparison. The casings from the betting shop match casings from Digbeth, which match casings from the nightclub, which match casings from Aston. 4 separate crimes, 4 separate investigations, 4 separate convictions, but 1 gun. The same 9mm Beretta, the same firing pin impression, the same extractor mark, the same rifling pattern. Every bullet, every casing, every death, linked by microscopic grooves carved into metal. Gun number 6. The weapon was never meant to be found. It moved through Birmingham's underworld like currency, traded, loaned, sold, passed between at least 11 different individuals over 6 years. No single person controlled it. No single gang claimed it. It belonged to whoever needed it most in that moment. And it killed indiscriminately. Charlene Ellis and Letitia Shakespeare, two teenage girls walking home, died because gun number 6 was in Marcus Reefer's hand on January 2nd, 2003. Ishfaq Hussain, shot in the back outside a nightclub, died because gun number 6 was used by unknown riders on a motorcycle 2 months later. Andrew Granger, executed under a railway bridge, died because gun number 6 was in Kamar Lewis's hand on September 10, 2005. Ken, shot during a robbery, survived only by chance when gun number 6 was fired into his leg in February 2006. None of these crimes were connected by motive. None of the perpetrators knew each other. None of the victims shared a history, but they all bled from the same source. Why did it take so long to notice? The answer is systemic. Each crime was investigated separately, different detective teams, different boroughs, different priorities. Ballistic evidence was collected at every scene, but cross-referencing required deliberate action, time, and resources. In the chaos of gang violence, with cases piling up and convictions prioritized, the deeper pattern went unnoticed. Until a single analyst years later ran a comparison that should have been routine from the beginning. Gun number 6 circulated because it was invisible. It had no serial number on file, no registered owner, no traceable history. It existed in the black market, a tool of violence, passed hand to hand, neighborhood to neighborhood, without oversight or accountability. And every time it fired, it left behind not just a body, but a signature. Microscopic, undeniable, permanent. Gun number 6 was never designed to kill specific people. It killed whoever was in front of it when the trigger was pulled. A teenage girl, a nightclub patron, a man begging for mercy, a shopkeeper defending his business. It did not discriminate. It did not choose. It simply performed its function. The individuals who wielded it made choices. Marcus Reefer chose to fire into a crowded street. Kamar Lewis chose to execute a man on his knees. The McLean brothers chose to shoot during a robbery. But the weapon itself was a constant. A 9mm Beretta, mass-produced, unremarkable, except for the lives it took. The forensic evidence was absolute. Every casing recovered from every scene bore the same marks. The firing pin struck each primer in the same way. The extractor left the same groove. The barrel's rifling imprinted the same spiral onto every bullet. Ballistics analysis is not subjective. It is not interpretive. It is a fingerprint made of metal, unique, unchangeable, and irrefutable. Gun number 6 killed in Aston. It killed outside the nightclub. It killed under the bridge. It wounded in the betting shop. And it did so without ever being caught. Where is gun number 6 now? That question remains unanswered. It was never recovered, never traced, never destroyed. It may still be in Birmingham. It may have been discarded. It may have been smuggled elsewhere, continuing its silent work in another city under another name. Or it may sit in someone's possession, waiting. The disturbing reality is this: a single illegal firearm can generate years of death. It can move undetected through a city, used by multiple people in multiple crimes without triggering an immediate connection. Not because the evidence isn't there, but because the systems designed to track it are fragmented, overwhelmed, and slow. By the time the pattern is recognized, the damage is done. Gun number 6 is not an anomaly. It is a symptom of a larger failure in intelligence sharing, in ballistics databases, in the ability to track illegal weapons before they kill. And it is a reminder that in the world of violent crime, the most dangerous thing is not always the person holding the weapon. Sometimes it is the weapon itself. Cold, portable, endlessly reusable, passing from hand to hand, leaving bodies in its wake.
Charlene Ellis and Letitia Shakespeare were buried together. Their deaths sparked national outrage and led to widespread calls for stricter gun control. But they were not the only victims. Ishfaq Hussein, Andrew Granger, Ken, who survived but was forever changed, all of them were touched by the same object. All of them bled because of the same piece of metal. This is not a story about gang warfare. It is not a story about individual killers. It is a story about a gun that killed and killed and killed, while the world failed to notice. Gun number 6. Still out there, still waiting, still loaded.